15th of August, Rabbi Levitt, Sefer Chavetz Chaim.
Right. So we're holding now that we read over this Hagah, which is which appears after Sif Yud Daled, and this is in Klal Tes of Hilchus Yisurei Rechilus in Sefer Chavetz Chaim.
Right. And I had a question about this. Oh, this was the case that reminded me of when I was on the board of directors of the school.
Yeah.
And someone might ask, who voted against me, or did so and so vote against me?
Right.
In favor of me, or whatever. And we said that even if he asked me, did you vote against me? Or did you vote for me? We said that you can't say, because if you say I voted against you, if you say I voted for you, but the rest of them voted against you, it's going to increase hatred against the rest of them.
Right. Right. That's what I'm just reading over here in the Hagah, that even if I don't know how many people are on this voting body, as you say, but
we had about 10 on my board.
Wow, that's a lot of people. Okay. So let's say the Chavetz Chaim doesn't at least he hasn't yet made any distinctions between how many people are on this Tuvia voting body or not.
Right.
But what he said was, even if this, we'll call him Jew number one, who is on the Tuvia, and even if he in fact did not agree with the and he voted otherwise. He did not vote against Reuven. They were the majority, and his vote was in the minority. And now Reuven comes along and he asks Jew number one, was he where was he in this vote? So even though Reuven is suspecting that he voted together with the majority, became Asalo Minadin Lahashiv. He's not even allowed to answer, even in a lashon of Ani lo asisi es hadavar zeh. I was not responsible for my vote was not the vote that was responsible for that verdict, for that decision. He's not even allowed to say that, and all the more so, Tol shekain legalos b'feirush es shmam, to reveal the names of those people who were responsible for voting against him. That he's surely not allowed to do, and he's called a rochel if he does so. Okay, so that's what he said from this Hagah.
Now, I was asking you about this phrase, Af Sheruvain Choshdo Bazet. Even if Reuven,
Right.
No, that's not the question. Im Gam Yado Haisa Be'inyan Zeh. If he had a hand in the decision, what does that mean? Does that mean he had to be one of the voters? What if he wasn't one of the voters? What if he was a visiting member Or he was giving a presentation and he happened to be in the room at the time.
I don't think that's what I don't think that's what it means. If he had a hand in this matter, I think having a hand in the matter sounds to me like he's saying, was he one of the people that voted against me?
So if he wasn't one of the people, does that mean he can respond?
No, because all this is the question that Reuben put to him. That's what it says here. After this, Tuvia made their decision against Reuben. Now Reuben approaches Jew number one, and he asks him, where in Gam Yado if his hand was also in this.
I see. Regardless whether he voted yes or no, or even if he didn't vote, he can't respond in any case, no matter what.
Even he said before that in fact we're talking about a case where Jew number one did not agree with the verdicts. He in fact voted. He did not vote against Reuben,
right?
Personally,
but he can't say I voted with you.
He can't say, I'll tell you the truth. I didn't vote against you. I'll tell you the truth. It's the absolute truth.
And the reason is because
he's not allowed to say that.
Increase the hatred, because he's going to say, see, even Lou voted for me. So why did the rest of them vote against me?
Right. It makes it sound like, to me, it makes it sound like, really the decision was wrong. It was unfair. It was unjust. And yeah, right.
I guess the only way you can respond if he asks you directly is to say the proceedings of the meeting are confidential and it's against the halacha for me to reveal anything.
Right. 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 There's two problems in him saying anything. Problem number one is it may sound like he's criticizing the decision, which is highly improper, because it lowers the esteem of this body in the eyes of people, which is highly improper. And number two, it can increase hatred towards if he does say, right, well, I voted for you, even if he doesn't, he has the potential of creating hatred and animosity between Reuben and the other members of the body. So it's that's why the Chafetz Chaim says over here it's rechilas. It's rechilas. Rechilas is saying something, even if it may be true, which causes hatred and animosity between the person that you're talking to and the people that you're talking about. Okay. So we'll go on now to Sif Tesvav. Got the place?
Yeah.
Yes.
133, page 133.
Oh, okay.
Make sure you got the right book.
That's true too.
We're in page 133 of Sefer Chafetz Chaim, volume 2. Okay. And so we call upon Lou to start the reading, please.
In self-defense, the Chafetz Chaim presents an example of someone who protects himself by speaking rechilas. V'ata navo l'va'er ma she'nich shalin bazeh harbe anashim. Let us proceed to discuss within this topic a certain type of rechilas in which many people stumble. Va'atzayer tziur echad. I will give one illustration as an example of this type of rechilas. Umimenu yakish ha maskil l'chol kiyotze bozeh, from which the reader may compare and apply the same law to all similar situations. Lefi ma she matsui she'echad may vi sechora la'ir limakor. It happens frequently that someone will bring merchandise to a city to sell. Uvaim etzlo konim harbe, and many customers will come to buy from him. The ragil ma'od shemi she'ein lo ma'os bish'as ma'aseh. And quite often, a customer who does not have the money on hand, hu borer sekora, he selects merchandise. Ume vakesh me ha-mocher shelo yimkor es ha-sechora la'acher, and ask the merchant, don't sell this to somebody else. He who yelech v'yavi lo ma'os, while he goes home to get the money for the purchase. Uvetoch kach ba'im etzlo konim acherim. He then leaves to get the money, and in the meanwhile, other customers arrive. Umaftsirim bo harbe she'yimkor lahem osa hasichora she'barar ha-rishon, and exert great pressure on the merchant to sell them the same item that the first buyer had selected. V'nisratza lahem, the merchant relents and sells it to them. V'acharkach, and later on, kit shekba harishon umevakesh me'ito sheyitain lo es haskora shebarar mitechila. When the first customer returns and asks the merchant to give him the item he chose earlier, hu mishivo, the merchant responds, Floni ba, so-and-so came to me, below hayisi rotse laseit lo, I did not want to sell him the merchandise. V'hishlich es ha-maos v'lakach es ha-sechora, but he just threw down the money and took the item. Uva'al ha-karchi nisratse si lo, I sold it to him against my will. Shelo hayisi rotze lehis kotate imo, because I did not want to argue with him. Higon zeh. In this scenario, avar al lav Gemur, Dalid Lamed Aleph, Telech Rachil Ba'amecha. In this scenario, by identifying the second customer and causing the first customer to be angry at that second customer, the merchant has violated the full-fledged prohibition of do not go as a talebearer among your nation. Hagam she'avla gedola asa oso ha shehif tzir la seis lo es hasichora shebarar ha rishon. Even though the second customer who pressured the merchant did give him the item that the first customer already chose, even though the second customer who pressured the merchant to give him the item that the first customer already chose committed a serious offense, Nikom Makom, nevertheless, this does not void the sale to the second customer. Evan Shemachar lo v'kibel ma'os hamaos me'ito, since the merchant disregarded his commitment to the first customer and sold the merchandise to the second customer and accepted the payment from him. Bavadai mechira gemura he. It is clear the sale is completely valid.
Wow. Okay.
Below yetze shum toelis mizeh. Hence, nothing constructive will result. She yigaleh lo shem ha-maftzir. From the merchants telling the first customer the name of the customer who pressured him. Rak she yachnis lo sinah bilibo alav. This will only cause the first customer to harbor hatred toward the second customer, and it will not enable the first customer to void the sale. Vizet hu rechilas gemura. Therefore, this disclosure of the second customer's name constitutes full-fledged rechilas, as we explained above in Klal 1 Sif 3. The law is in such a situation is comparable in all its details to that of Sif 14. So I have a kasha on my side, yes. It's a little confusing, I think, that in this example, the merchant lies about what actually happened. It seems like the second customer pressured him and he sold it to him. And then when the first customer came back, he said he threw the money down and grabbed the item, which is not what happened. It would seem to me that it doesn't matter. They didn't have to make an example where he lied. Even if he told the truth, it would still be rechilas.
Yeah, it would still be if he told the absolute truth, right? Right. I mean, and it is true that he didn't want to sell it to him. He told him I can't sell it to you, but the guy pressured him.
So he should just say, someone came and he pressured me, and I couldn't resist the pressure, and I sold it to him.
Yeah.
And he says, who was it? So I can't tell you. I'm not allowed to tell you.
Right. As long as he doesn't, I guess, yeah. And as long as there's no way for there's no way for that the would-be buyer number one to know who actual buyer number two is. And it would not be rechilas, as long as he doesn't know who it is. In this story, he named him by name. That's when it says Ploni, it means that he named a name. Um, yeah. To avoid this situation, of course, the seller shouldn't promise it to the first buyer.
Right.
He says, "Look, if you don't pay for it, you didn't buy it. you know, I can't, but this is it's true. It happens. Maybe buyer number one is a steady customer, and he wants to please this guy. So he wants to come forward uh, to him, and what do you call it? So that's why he did it. But if he wants to do that, he could. But he's got to be strong to hold his you know um, um I mean really the seller, in addition to speaking Rochilis, I mean, we're talking here about Rochilis, and that's certainly the most severe Avera that he did over here. But he certainly didn't do proper in selling it to number two. He didn't do the proper thing. I don't think so. If he promised buyer number one that he's going to hold it for him, then he's got to keep his word.
Yeah.
He didn't keep buyer number one. But that's not the point of the story over here for the Chofetz Chaim. Point of the story is that he's telling a story which involves Rechilus. Because like the seller is trying to excuse himself and say, look, the guy forced me, and like you say, maybe he's even going to exaggerate the facts a little bit, and like sort of like even forcefully took it away from me, threw down the money and grabbed the thing. It makes it sound like he didn't have anything to. There was no way for him to avoid the matter. But Lamaisa, what had happened, what is like the Chofetz Chaim says. I mean that would be that would I don't think that would be a valid sale, because the Chofetz Chaim says very clearly over here that the reason it's a valid sale is because the guy took the money. What does it mean he took the money? It doesn't mean that the guy threw the money down in front of him and grabbed the thing and ran away. That's not a sale. The guy gave him the money. He did pressure him a lot, but he gave him the money and he put it in his hand, and the buyer, the seller rather, he took the money. So that's a sale, says the Chofetz Chaim. Okay.
So in that case, let's say that was true. That's really what did happen. Would the seller now be permitted to tell the first buyer the name of the second buyer, since there is a toelis that he could?
I believe so.
Sell?
I believe so.
Yeah.
It's like if a thief came in, and that's called Hamas. That's a category of Gezel.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't matter that he gave money for it. He didn't. What the item was not for sale. The item was not for sale. He told him it's not for sale. He did not accept the money, and the guy just ran away with it. Grabbed it and ran away. That's not a sale. So I think that the seller would be able to tell him in that case, provided, of course, that all the other requirements have been fulfilled, which the Chofetz Chaim says almost are never fulfilled. But it would be a case, if you want to just talk about that one prat of Toelis, that would be a case of Toelis, unlike the case over here. Because since over here the the Chafetz Chaim is saying that since the sale is a mechira gemura, the sale is final to the second guy. There's really nothing that the first guy can do in din. He's not going to get any recourse to the Bezdin over there. So the only reason there's no reason to tell him anything. There's no tuelis in telling him who did this. Okay.
You know, Rabbi, it occurs to me, even if it's true, still the first buyer cannot take the second buyer to Beis Din unless he has two witnesses. If the
Right?
seller,
Yeah.
one witness, I think maybe there's still a problem.
Well, you're right. That's the Chafetz Chaim said that even if we say it wouldn't be Ruchilas because it was a Toelis, but he's what does he lead? What there's no the guy doesn't really have any significant recourse in Beis Din other than to just come into Beis Din and make a claim that that's what this guy did, but that's not going to get him anywhere in the Beis Din. That's not going to get him anywhere. And so the only thing that he's going to have at his disposal to do is to confront this guy. And
Punch him in the nose. What's he going to do? He has no recourse except to get angry at him, and that's Rechilas. I would think if the seller, you know, can identify there was somebody else in the store at the time who saw what happened, and he could say to the first buyer, you know, he threw down the money and took the object, and Plony over here saw it, or Plony, maybe Plony's not there anymore, but Plony, who lives at such and such an address, saw it. Then I think it's not Rechilas, because now he could go to court.
if he has two witnesses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the Chafetz Chaim said. That it's so difficult to fulfill the eight. There's 8 different prerequisites before you can tell the guy. It's basically more or less impossible. Even if he does have the witnesses, the Chafetz Chaim said, but
Well, he's fulfilled. He's automatically fulfilled a lot of them. I mean, he can't give. Well, he gave him Tochakai. Told him I don't want to sell it to you, and he has firsthand knowledge of it, and he knows that the guy's not going to suffer more damage than the court would give, because the recourse is to go to court and get the damage that the court gives. So there's 3 of them.
well, he also has to know about this person that he would only go to the Beis Din with witnesses, and he wouldn't do anything else.
Yeah, he's not going to go punch him in the mouth. Right. Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So if he doesn't know the first buyer, or doesn't know him well, is he obligated to presume that the first buyer will go punch him in the nose? Or is he allowed to presume that the first buyer won't punch him in the nose?
I don't think he could. I don't think that he could tell him based upon his. If he doesn't know the person at all, I think he would have to be concerned for the possibility that the person is going to be very upset over here, and he might do something that that is not according to the halacha. So unless he knows, maybe he could make inquiries about the person, a bit, and if I don't know if he's required to do all of that, but just
what if he says to him, somebody came and took the item without my permission? But I don't want you to do anything except to go to court. Will you agree if I tell you his name? And he says, yeah, I agree. I'll only go to court. I won't punch him in the nose.
maybe his word is good enough. Although you have to really know. I mean, the same person that would not go to court and punch him in the nose is the same guy that'll say, yeah, that's what I'll do. And then you go back to him and say, hey, you promised me, and the guy says, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then he'll tell the seller, you shouldn't have sold it to him. You were a wimp.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Punch the seller in the nose too.
Yeah.
There are a lot of bloody noses in this story. Oh yeah.
Okay. So
I think I read enough. I read a little bit more than a page.
okay, now we're going to go to Alan to continue the reading. Please.
134, Alan, the second paragraph. Umi Cole.
144?
34.
134. Okay, I'm here. Right. Okay. Starting where?
Umi Cole, second paragraph.
Okay. Mikol, Shakain, the fee, Ma, Shomor Sotoy, Kamor, Mim. Mim. Shalo, Sir, Bo, Hasheni, Hazer, Koch, Zek customer did not actually exert much pressure on the merchant. Below, Ho, Do, Shepor, Sek Al, Hasa, Ho, Roa, Hazo, Im, or Kar. And the merchant never even told the second customer that had already committed to sell the merchandise to someone else. Barak, Vase, Tamo, More Car, Lo, S, Asa, Koror, Hazeh. In reality, he sold the merchandise to the second customer, purely for his own benefit. Me'ezem ta'am she'hoyorlo, for whatever reason he had. K'dei yeh
Where are you going?
toneh, or Rishon, Ta Mosi, or Love. However, since the seller did not want the first customer to be upset with him when the merchandise was sold to someone else, Shamar, or Love, Shehu, Mishaneh, Bida, or since this would lead him to say about the seller that he reneges on his word. Who may seer law may ansamo benos nor al chavaro. He absolves himself of wrongdoing by shifting the blame to the second customer and claiming that he was forced to sell their merchandise. Barad Day, Hu, or Rom, Godol, Al, Marod. This is unquestionably a grave sin. Kihu, people, Lel, Motzi, Shame, Roa. In that it places a merchant in the category of Motzi Shem Ra, slanderer, since he's spreading the falsehoods about the second customer. Sure, Yoch Bo Call Halo Bean Seen Hamabo or Hamabo Horin Lael Bafasi Hor, and all of the negative and positive commandments that we enumerated in the introduction may apply in such a case. Wow. And that's a big statement, and all of the negative and positive commandments that were enumerated in the introduction may apply in such a case. Not simple.
Yeah, not at all. Okay, Mayor,
Okay.
please.
It says, "V'tzarik lizaher me'od b'inyan kazeh." In such situations where he sold the item to another customer, the seller must be very careful. Shelo legalot lo shem halokeach hasheni shelakach haschora. Not to tell the first customer the name of the second customer who purchased the merchandise. Afilu im yirtzeh hamocher hazeh lamshik ha'avla al atzmo. Even if the merchant wishes to take the blame upon himself, lomar, by saying, Ani hu shegagti be'inyan hazeh. I was the one who erred in this matter. Ki hu lo yada mizeh she'ata pasachta. The second customer was unaware that you and I had already made an agreement. Ki ragilhu me'od. Disclosing the second customer's identity must be avoided even in this case because it is very common. Sha'afilu be'ofen zeh yaknis sin'ah b'libo al halokeach hasheni. For even this type of statement to cause the first customer to harbor resentment toward the second customer, sheyachshov alav shehu yarad l'chayav, as he may feel the buyer undermined his livelihood. Rak yashiv lo hamocher stam. Instead, the merchant should simply respond, Ani mikartiha ishgaga la'aher. I mistakenly sold it to someone else. Vida, and note, D'chol ma shekatavnu b'sefer zeh me'inyan godel is hirut me'avon lashon hara. That everything we have written in this work regarding the great precautions one must take in order to avoid the sin of Lashon Hara, Hainu lemishahu adayin biklal amitecha, applies only when the person he is speaking about is still in the category of amischa. Oh, amitcha, okay, your nation. Habal be'otan anashim hakofrim b'torat Hashem. However, with regard to those people who deny the divinity of Hashem's Torah, afilu rak be'ot achad, even if they deny the divinity of just one letter of the Torah, v'hamal'igim v'divrei Chazal. And with regard to those people who mock the words of Chazal, it's avel farsein datam hakozevet le'nei hakol u'leganotam I guess.
Right.
Is a mitzvah to publicize their false beliefs to the community at large and degrade them. Kidei shelo yilmedu mimaaseihem hara'im, so that others will not learn from their wrongful ways.
Okay. So, very good.
So that means the best policy is just not to say anything, I guess.
Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Silence is golden, right?
Yeah, I've heard that one before. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting. He did say that he gave a suggestion of what this seller should say. I mistakenly sold it to someone else.
Yeah,
Don't
so-
say don't say the name of the person, and like that, he's taking responsibility for the
Yeah.
for the matter, and he's not saying rechilas on anyone because he's not naming the name of the person who bought it from him.
Right.
So that's the so we see what it is that the seller should do in a situation like that. Okay. All right. Now after this, there's more in the public time.
I want to ask a question. In
Yeah.
Israel, we have a lot of Jews who are not Orthodox. And according to what I'm reading here, they would fall into this category of someone who denies even one letter of the Torah.
Yeah.
They don't believe in the Torah, or they believe in the Torah but not all of it, or whatever, however you want to understand it. So is this saying that it's a mitzvah to speak Lashon Hara about these secular Jews?
Well, first of all, he said it's not the only thing he said over here was that it's a mitzvah to publicize their false beliefs. That so and so doesn't believe in the Torah, and that is deplorable, right? That's what he said. He didn't say to about other things that they do, although that may whatever. But that you can't. Yeah, that's what he says. Mitzvah lefarsim.
But
And
then
the reason for
says,
this,
and to degrade them. Is that only in the case of degrading them for their false beliefs, or is that?
yeah. Well, what else would the what else is there to degrade them about? That's what you're focusing on. You're focusing on their false beliefs. Kadesh load, and what's the reason that what is the reason that there's a mitzvah? What is the reason that there's a mitzvah over here?
So let's say a non-Jew is I'm sorry, a secular Jew is involved in some kind of an issue. Like let's say he's a politician and he takes a position that you don't like. So I'm assuming from what you're saying that you can't speak badly about him because he takes that position, since it has nothing to do with his denying the Torah. Would that be true? Or are you allowed to say whatever you want about him because he's not religious?
You could be mefarsim the fact that that individual is a denier of Torah, and degrade him for that he's a denier of Torah.
But not because he's against the judicial reform, for example.
Well, I mean, that's what's the lashon hara? You don't. You're just stating that you feel that you feel that the correct position is otherwise. Why would that be lashon hara? To say that you disagree with it? Why is that lashon hara?
He's a no good person. Don't believe his opinion because he beats his wife. I don't know.
I mean, you want to know whether you can take this as a carte blanche to say whatever you want about this person because there's no issue of lashon hara about him.
Right. Yeah, I'll give you an example.
See,
So somebody was talking about a certain person who's ostensibly non-religious. I mean, I don't really know that he's non-religious, but ostensibly he's not religious, and he wears a kippah, but it's very small. And so the individual that didn't like this person made fun of him. He said, "You need a magnifying glass to see his kippah." I felt that was lashon hara, and it was improper for him to say it.
I mean, actually, if you want to know the truth, the first tshuva in Igrus Moshe is about this subject: how big a kippah has to be. It's a halakhic issue.
Right. So
Rav Moshe discusses it. So
maybe he's in violation. Maybe you're talking about a violation because his kippah is smaller than the size. I don't know. That wasn't his point.
Yeah.
His point was that this guy is not sincere about his religion. That he, wears a tiny little kippah, which is shows that he's not a good person.
I mean, it's interesting that I mean, the Chafetz Chaim could have said over here. I mean, well, let's say something otherwise. It seems to me that what the Chafetz Chaim said over here is that the only mitzvah that there is in regard to speaking lashon hara about this person is to speak a type of lashon hara which is going to be a toelis. And what's the toelis that comes out from speaking lashon hara about him? because he is a denier of Torah Hashem. And on that, the Chafetz Chaim says it'll be a mitzvah to speak about the fact that he's a denier of Torah Hashem and to degrade him on that account. And the reason why that is toelis is because you're instructing people to not have such erroneous and highly harmful beliefs. But just to simply knock this person and use this carte blanche that he's not b'chlal amisecha because he's a denier of Torah. There is no mitzvah in that. There's no mitzvah in that. The mitzvah is to use the fact that he's not part of Amisecha and use it for a mitzvah to distance people from such dangerously harmful beliefs.
Right.
That's what I see from what the Chafetz Chaim said over here. He could have said, and since he's not included in Amisecha, you could say about him whatever you want, because there's no Isser Lashon Hara about this person. That's not what the Chafetz Chaim said. There's no benefit in such speech. The benefit is to distance people from having the beliefs that he has. That's the benefit, and that's why you're allowed to publicize his views and to denigrate them and to denigrate him even.
Let's say person is not, in the category of, anything special. He's just an average guy, but he's not religious. He's an average secular Jew. Doesn't do anything wrong. Doesn't hurt anybody that you know of. Can you say, by the way, he's a secular Jew. He's not religious. He doesn't believe in the Torah.
Well, you have to. You're not getting any mileage from that. Meaning, after saying that, you have to say how that is a deplorable thing, and that because then the people that hear you hear that that's a deplorable thing. Otherwise, you just. Oh, he has red hair. Oh, he wears glasses. Oh, he doesn't observe the Torah. So and therefore, it sounds like you're saying, big deal. That's not the mitzvah.
What about if a person, normal, average Joe Blow, is married to a non-Jewish woman? Can you let's say he's somebody who's well known. Let's say he's an actor, and he comes up in the conversation, and you want to say, "Oh, he's married to a non-Jew," to warn people that they shouldn't like him. This actually happened to me one time. I felt it was Lashon Hara.
See, maybe one could say that it's not Lashon Hara because there's no Lashon Hara about a person who doesn't believe in Torah and doesn't observe mitzvahs, right? But the mitzvah is to denigrate that fact and influence other people to not do like he does. And that has to come through from what you're saying about him. In other words, if you're just simply saying that, he does this or he does that, it's sort of like, you know what it sounds like you're saying? It just sounds like you want to just put him down.
Right.
It's not the point to just put the guy down. It may be that it's not technically lashon hara. That's true, because there's no lashon hara about the person. But there's no mitzvah in saying that. The mitzvah is to point out something about the fact that he does not observe Torah mitzvahs, he doesn't believe in Torah mitzvahs, and to denigrate that belief and that practice, so that people know that that is not a proper thing, and they should not be influenced to go in the ways of such a person, whether he's an actor, whether he's a whatever he is.
Right. Well, I think we're way over.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, so one second. We're going at what time? 12. Okay, so I'm going to be going at 12. So if you want to do yeah. So I can go into we can start the coming now and go until like 11:55 or whatever, something like that.
That's actually good for me. I have to leave at 12 also.
Oh, okay.
Going on a family camping trip. Yirtzeh Hashem.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
And we lost Meir, so
yeah, he had to go. Okay. I'm going to call Phil now.
I know. Didn't Phil say he was with us? Oh no, that was yesterday.
Yeah. Good morning, Phil. Baruch Hashem, good. So we're going to be starting right now because I have to go, and also Luke says he has to go also at like 12 o'clock. So we'll be okay. Okay. Bye.
He's not coming?
Yeah, he says he's logging in right now.
Oh, great.
And they're in the purple folder. All right, so we started the new Mishnah. Right, started a new Mishnah. And basically what we said is, in regard to these, they seem to be some type of tax collectors. They're collecting the head tax, they're collecting the land tax. They Rashi said that they are officially appointed collectors from the Melech, from the king, and the din on them is that whatever they got in their box that they put in their collections over there, it's regarded as gezel, and therefore don't use that box to make change for yourself. But any money that he has on his person, which is not in the box, whether in the house, whether outside, even in the shuk, where he's doing his collecting, you can take make change from that money that he gives you. And that was a very nice wrap up, if I don't say so myself, of the Mishnah. And now we're going to go to the Gemora. The Gemora here is on Kuf Yud Gimel. It's about
13.83.
yeah. Okay, Lou, you want to start reading?
Yeah, let me just switch the recording.